AKA Straight Day. Just made it to the second annual movie festival type shit. Feel me? Geek like a motherfucker. And get what I do. Be right back. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to this video. You feel me? I'll let you know so y'all understand me.
They're gonna constantly getting paid, right? So you got something called streaming video on demand. It's called VOD. So when you're at home, you're looking at streaming videos on demand. You just don't know what it is. But for us, it hurt us because we can't count the streams. Now you can Tubi or whatever, you can count the algorithms, but you can't count the streams, even in music. So you lose money. So now you have to figure out what's the streaming doing, where's the money going, how much do I get? 1 cent, 2 cent, 10 cent? The AI will eliminate you from getting money in the future. You'll just get money once. So we don't want that. So our argument as a union is saying, no, that's not fair. That's my image, my likeness, that's me. And you're gonna keep creating a thing through a program that don't allow me to get paid. So that's in agreement with what he's saying. It's not going anywhere, but that's what our fight is. So we'll fight that all the way till damn near January, because even the stunt coordinators who create a stunt can be artificially, intelligently duplicated, and they never use him again. But that's him doing the backflip and breathing down the wall, that's him. But he need to get paid for 50 years from that point to then. He should be getting paid, you know what I mean? So, and just to say that, because it's making me think about the writers that were on strike as well, because when you started doing the reruns, you know, like the shows y'all watching on TV, syndication, they didn't get paid because that didn't exist back then. Like Monique was fussing with the Parkers and Fred Sanford, or you might watch Martin Lawrence. That didn't exist back then. What exists now. So if you're showing it on streaming, those guys should get paid for that, because that's still their material, that's still their project, and that's part of the strike and the argument. But AI kind of like toppled it over. You know what I mean? Let me tell you this, as a creator, I would rap the young 14-year-olds such as yourself, because that's your world. And then I would make sure I partner with you, because you're gonna understand the whole dynamic of what's going on, and I'll make sure my company is congruent with you so that you can move my company forward into the future so I don't be a dinosaur. You see what I'm saying? Somebody else might want to answer it differently, but I would take me a young person such as yourself who totally understands what's going on with that imagery, that computer, and that. No, I hate it, but there's nothing I can do about it. So all I can do is fight from a legal standpoint, paperwork-wise.
I'm gonna say this, man. When it comes to that, because it's AI, you can't completely take away a human. You know what I mean? Like it just won't happen. You can't just completely take away a human. So that human will have to say, I relinquish myself and not go for these auditions, not, you know what I'm saying, create that. The people who's creating content have to say, I'm completely going to use AI, and we are human out here who's creating these things. So if we're not watching it, we're not seeing the content, you know what I mean, we're not, you know, building the content, then we're just here. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't think it's going to take over to that standpoint, but in a lot of situations, like you said, in a lot of situations, it will take over, because the younger generation is coming up seeing it. You know what I mean? But it'd be people like us that say, you know, well, I don't want to use it to that standpoint, but I can bring you in, you know what I mean? But as far as like just taking away the jobs, you're not going to be able to sit and watch AI all day, every day. It just won't happen. I don't see it happening.
Write books and so on and so forth. And again, look, I got chat AI, you know, and they'll say a sentence and they want to write a 90-page book, so they keep hitting the space button. Look, I got a whole book, and I'm like, there's no creativity, and it's like, I don't care. I got my book finished. You know, the same thing with scripts. Everything is generic, but it's just the fact that I hate the idea that I would take my time and wake up 3 o'clock in the morning and dream about what I want to write. And now you're saying, oh, I want 3 kids and 1 fell in the pool, and hit the button and it do 5 pages. You say, no, I need 20 pages. Do it 5 more times and my stuff is finished. So, no, I hate that.
It kills creativity. It kills creativity. It absolutely kills creativity. I'm a creative person, so I'm not gonna let anything smash my creativity. I'd rather get down in it because I know it. I know from the beginning to end. I know what I went through, how I put it together. If you remove yourself from the situation, there's no reason for you, you know what I mean, to go forward. You know what I mean? I stay in it. So it's a creativity killer to me.
So, and that's funny we talk about creativity because I like to call everybody that's in this kind of industry creatives, right? And so I think with the AI stuff, it does take that away. My question to y'all is, I know we wear multiple hats, like a lot of us have a bunch of talents, right? Like some of y'all act and write, some of y'all draw, right? And produce. Which one of those gifts is really like your go-to? The thing that gives you that just, man, this is good. I feel great doing this. This is fun. Like, which one is that? For all of y'all, actually, which one is that?
For me, it's writing. For me, it's writing.
I think for me, it would be the ethical hacking portion of it. I've been a computer geek since age 11. And I was one of the best.
Johnson, who's sitting next to Miss Giovanni, is my acting coach. Started acting in high school, and he taught me the business. I was just listening on the other side, recording you guys. I know all the 3 gentlemen in the center there. I'm from Decatur, also a young man over there, retired military. This question is about financials, right? So when I got out of the Air Force, as I'm learning the entertainment business, I opened an entertainment business at the behest of encouragement of Mr. Johnson over there. Following greatness, he put me in a couple films, and I started looking at the money, okay? I'm not really concerned about the AI and things of that nature because you can make money and not be in front of the camera. I deal with financials. I help people make, save, invest, and protect their money. Buildings, people, and coins. What are you guys proactively doing different in your business model? You can work at McDonald's and make enough money to retire. So what are you doing to be proactive about the AI and the strikes and things of that nature with your money to make sure you and your bloodline is secure financially?
I'm glad you asked that question, D-Rad, and a lot of us do a lot of multiple things. For me, I'm a real estate guru, so I own a lot of property throughout Louisiana, and the film is, so doing movies, writing, directing, producing is my bread and butter, but also the real estate. And unfortunately, a lot of times we don't invest our money. I own so much stuff, I can't even, shit, it's a lot. But I'm just gonna I'm gonna stay with real estate. God damn it. You have to invest your money in something that'll sustain you during COVID, during the recession. Okay? Don't try and rock me. But no, seriously. But I know, listen, I'm a community too, don't pay me no mind. And I love your hair. Listen, you have to do other things. I'm gonna pass it on. Please. You write, you build sets, you edit, you do security, that's very important. Security is so important. But make sure you do, put your money somewhere else. That's all I'm saying. Please, put your money somewhere else.
I'm gonna say this, when they stopped, I had no choice but to stop. But because I do carpentry, I literally started a whole nother business called Clean Break, and I started remodeling. So one of my first gigs I did was the Sickle Cell Foundation of Georgia, $75,000 project. You know what I mean? So from March to now, I made just a little bit over $90,000. And I literally took it because I see what that scare was. And I paid every single monthly rent, car, life insurance, everything, all the way up until March of next year. Because I did not want to be come across this again. You know what I mean? So having something else to make sure you fall back on, that's on you. And right now they called me back and say, hey, we're gonna be gearing back up. I said I'm not coming. I literally told them that only because I have a couple more gigs when it comes to renovation. You know what I mean? But I see I had to stand on me. I still have my production company. I still, do my creating and things like that. But right now, I like my freedom, and I stand on me. I hire people to do what I need to do, and I stand on me.
Okay, with me, with different streams, from a prior job that I had, 'cause like I said, I used to do the helicopter rescue thing with a lot of movies, so I get a little bit of money from that. As far as with my movies, I own everything, so I never take out a loan, never took out anything, so anything that works with that, I get. During COVID, I sort of was fortunate because, well, that's bad to say, but I was good because that was during election time. And all the politicians wanted commercials to do elections. So you had some folks that figure, hey, you're not working, so we're gonna pay you next to nothing. And then you had some folks that was begging you to work and they was paying you 3 times. So I opted for the 3 times.
Well, for me, COVID was an eye-opener, because I lost between 75 to 80% of my revenue, because the majority of my clients were global, from a global standpoint, and I couldn't travel, right? So what I had to do was I had to diversify my service offerings, and so now I have a program. I just launched a platform for DigiSoc, which is a 24/7, 365-day platform that monitors all systems endpoints, and I get paid on a monthly basis from that standpoint. And also, I was already in the digital currency to Bitcoin, altcoins, and things of that nature. What I did do was I diversified further into IULs from a life insurance policy standpoint, because from my understanding, IULs the life insurance companies have to be bonded for the amount of money that they have overall. So when the run of Silicon Valley Bank, Silicon Valley Bank happened, on the tech side, a lot of founders and CEOs were trying to figure out how they were going to make payroll, right? So from that standpoint, that kind of scared me again. So, I talked to my insurance broker, got in some IULs, diversified in some IULs, besides stocks that I have going on with my stocks too. And then I'm looking at other business ventures, right? Because to the point, besides real estate, I don't necessarily want to be in the situation I was, like going through COVID, and I kind of had to bounce back from that. I bounced back strong, but I still had to bounce back from it, right? So from that standpoint, I would say diversify, definitely read in other industries. Wall Street Journal is one of my favorite newspapers. Atlanta Biz Journal is another one that I read all the time. But you just want to know what's going on in other industries, not just the one that you're in, but other industries, so that way there may be a potential to invest in a company, a startup, or anything else.
And how can other parents get their children into film?
Well, I started professionally when I was about 13. I'd been doing plays and community theater at school or my church, and my mom was like, "Okay, let's really go for it," and did it. And my first job was All That on Nickelodeon, and I did that for 3 seasons, and then I moved over to Disney Channel and did a couple of series over there, and then I did a couple of movies, Bring It On, Freedom Writers. Pretty much to say I've been working since then. As far as getting your kids acclimated into the business, has to be a them-driven thing, because you gotta let your kid be a kid. Like, it's great to want to do this and let them try and go out for it. It's always going to be there, because you're a kid once and you're an adult forever. So they treat you like an adult, even though you are a child. I knew I wanted to be in this business, so I didn't care. But you have to be built to do this, because you are working 8 to 12-hour days as a child, or until you graduate, and you still gotta do your schoolwork if you haven't graduated high school yet. You still have responsibilities and other things you have to do. It's not, oh, okay, I just want to do this for fun, and then it's a job. This is a job. This is a profession. And so you gotta be on your P's and Q's. You gotta be on your grades, because you can't get a work permit without good grades. So if you don't have a 3.5 GPA or higher, you're not gonna get a work permit, and those work permits renew every 6 weeks depending on your state. As far as getting them in, take classes. Please, please, please take classes. This is a business, and both of you need to take the classes because you need to understand what's going on. Get a coach that can help you with the other side of the business. I teach acting classes. I'm half acting classes, half consulting. Actually, there is. I have a book. I wrote a book. It's called All That You Need to Know About Show Business. Shameless plug. And I teach all of that in the book. It's on Amazon. It's $30. Real simple. I break down, hey, this is how you get an agent. Hey, this is what you should look out for, how much you should be charged, the difference between an agent and a manager. Okay, I got an audition. What do I do? How do I do this? What do I submit? Oh, look, I booked a job. I go through each chapter, goes through the process of start to finish for the industry. Even put in how to read a call sheet, little details. This is the business side. So for parents, you have to know the business side and let your child do the fun stuff. That's that balance. You guys are a team. It has to be the both of you, and it has to be the child driven first, not the parent living vicariously through their child, because that's how you get so many child stars that grow crazy and they end up hating their parents and dyeing their hair. Yes, dear.
Okay, my question kind of correlate with it. Just ask you, being in the entertainment industry, what's
Yeah, where's the mic? I can't hear you.
With being in the entertainment industry, people, once you become a recognizable face, how do you deal with the challenges of people taking your own screen personality and trying to correlate it with your real life?
So, I'm in an interesting place because when I started in the industry, we didn't have social media. So I was able to detach and have some solvents of anonymity. Now we are in an age where social media is built into the contracts to most acting gigs. I put out what I want you to know, and you can have that balance. You can be more personable and reach out to your fans and have that camaraderie or personability with the people that you're famous to or whatnot. Like, you can have those moments with the power of social media, and with that you can curate, or I hate saying curate, but that's the best way to describe it. Like, okay, this is my personality. Hey, I'm still a human being at the end of the day, blah, 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 blah. You can put out what you want. So I'm limited on my personal life because that's my business. My Instagram is put out everything else businessly because that's what it is. The flip side is people feel like they're real familiar with you out in the streets. And you gotta be patient and be politely like, hey, thank you, nice to meet you. I'm not saying be a dick, but be nice. Like, okay, hey, it's a pleasure to meet you. Not right now, I'm out with my son, I'm out with my family. Can we have some time? People mistake character and yourself at that point. As far as, I hope that answered your question. I know it was a real roundabout way of explaining it, but I kind of went through like social media and everything that's going on today and how people feel familiar with you. But yeah. Yay.
All right, well, that's all our time we have right now. And it was a great, amazing panel. I would like to thank all of our VIP guests personally, because that was incredible. It's a lot of cool stuff, even for someone who's been in the industry. It's pretty important things to know. So thank you all for coming on.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Get the young man in there.
Here we at?
estate agents.
Oh, yes, they reform.
They reform.
Between 19 and 27 is when they play. Once they hit 27, it's like a switch go off. Then they don't build the goddamn Rolodex. They phone so deep with every nigga that they need. Everything that they need right there. So once they be like, once they figure out what they gonna do, oh, let me call goddamn Real. Real can plug me in with the movie. Let me call, you know what I mean? Let me call him. He can get me plugged in the real estate.
Pay that bit.
Yeah.
Pay that bit.
Yeah.
But
Y'all niggas with the woods.
It's smart.
I smoke organic for papers, but I got them in the car. I don't know if nigga want. I ain't bring no weed, so I can't beg. Can't say shit.
Subscribe to my
That was
shit.
lockdown. So you can't say nothing to nobody. You smoking
Subscribe
these
to my
vegan shit.
Popcorn Flicks TV.
My niggas in the city bougie like that though. You can pass them
Tell them who you
shit
at,
like,
right?
nah.
Huh?
Tell them who you at.
Man, Dangerous Paradise, man. Dangerous the Don on IG, man. Prime Time Live is the podcast. On HHN TV is 420 and Blunted. That's my smoking shit podcast. So, you know, we got two things. And hey, I'm about to link up with Exclusive Magazine for a billboard coming soon. I'm gonna probably do that shit on my birthday,
That right.
February the 9th.
All right.
I seen them happen. It made my motherfucking weekend. I wasn't gonna do nothing but sit in the house and smoke weed.
I had a lot of shit to do. I just couldn't make it to the goddamn city. There was a lot of shit I did this weekend.
What's happening, y'all? Goat man, he back.
But you gonna give us some more stand up today?
No, man, they gotta pay for that. They gotta pay for that.
I'll never forget this. The guy said, "You're
Alright, I'ma see.
boys mature slower than girls. You should just wait." Through to get what I need done for my family. They're coloring our mind, you know, to their destiny. They're coloring our world to their sun, and they're coloring our hearts to their way of being. It's who they are.
This is a issue of extreme importance, and you can see, feel, and hear it. When you speak to our guests.
Our community is not being reached. It's time to share. It's time to open up and talk about this. It's time to help others.
You're a motherfucker when you got shit like that, you're laying around.
That what you talking about?
Laying around. Yeah, I gotta move. You can watch it. Just biggest show. Just laying around. With Blair Underwood and fucking Eric Palmer and this bitch, Nicole Eric. Come on, man.
Another round of applause for Nia Hills. Yeah. Come on. Okay, so. Oh, this for me. This for me. Listening to I'm just gonna let you have it.
Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to watch this piece. It was a hard one. It's still hard to watch, and it's been a few years. But I'll take any questions.
Statement. Mike. We got him. Chicago Chris. I've done a couple things in the world, but I want to just appreciate you, Nia, for doing what you do and did what you did. Our community, within us, we don't typically talk about these things. We have a lot of situations that we walk across and that we don't align ourselves with. We look at the glitz and the glamour, but we don't look at what's true within ourselves. And to put something like this that shows and just gives inspiration, and connection and collaboration amongst ourselves. opposite of us dancing on the streets and da-da and da-da. And I don't want to get too deep into it, but I want to just say a statement. Thank you.
How it came together, actually, Tisha and I had worked together on some other film stuff. The Four Mothers, so that's D.L. Hughley and his wife, LaDonna Hughley. Shannon Nash, Donna Hunter, they've been friends since high school. And then, who was the? So the four of them got Tisha involved, and then Tisha was like, I think I know who's supposed to tell the story. And she prayed about it, and she called me, and she was like, I think you're supposed to tell the story. And I was like, I don't think it's me. I don't know anything about autism. I have ADHD. I was diagnosed with ADHD, but which is close to the spectrum, behaviorally speaking, but not on the spectrum. So she said, well, just come in and meet with the ladies. So I went in and I met with them, and they were terrified. They were like, we don't even know how to tell this story. We know enough about the media and the dangers of putting trusting entertainment and the media with our stories, and this is our children. So if we're gonna trust, they basically threatened my life. We're gonna trust you with our stories, and you're gonna tell the story. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's not me. But what I will do is I will pray about it. And if God gives me a vision for something, I'll come back to y'all. So, so that's what I did. I went home. In that place, I lived in LA at the time. That was my place. We shot it at my crib. We used everything of ours. My sister's car at the time, that was the car Blair was driving. In the beat scene when they're throwing the ball, he didn't have no sweats because we didn't have no wardrobe department. So he had to put some big baggy sweats of mine that fit him at the time. But yeah, so I came back to them and I was like, yeah, I think it's supposed to be, like, I'm gonna write a script and then I'm gonna call Nicole, because Nicole and Boris didn't live far from me and they have a special needs child, Sophie. And then I called Blair, who was really good friends with, he's been friends with Holly Robinson Pete's husband, Rodney Pete, and they have an autistic son. So he grew up with him. Now in the morning that we shot that, his son, Blair's son, got diagnosed with ADHD. So they were coming from a very personal, both Nicole and Blair, very personal space. So I got back with the ladies and I was like, I'm gonna write the script and then I'm gonna shoot y'all, and I don't know if I didn't have a vision that they would come together, so it's definitely a God thing. It looks like I was doing a reenactment, but I wasn't, because I shot it all in one day. It was my editor who was in Atlanta. Yeah, like it makes me look really smart, but I have to really say it was all God, because I had no clue how the documentary side and the scripted side would work. So big ups to my editor.
Questions? Raise your hand. Who?
I gotta be speaking voice. I need my outside voice.
Okay, this is for audio purposes. How you doing, Leah? We appreciate you putting that on.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, honestly, I guess you answered the question. It sounds like they came to you in hopes of you being able to tell the story of autism, so that was really your inspiration behind the piece?
Well, I thought it was, until after I shot the piece, and then we made it a short. It was really a feature, but there was a piece of legislation Republican sponsored, and that says $1 billion, but it turned out to be $3 billion was gonna go to all white people, for all white people research on autism. But the epidemic was in brown and black communities, specifically boys, and when black girls get it, it's usually 10 times worse. So we stopped the film. We stopped the film and made it a short so that we could take the film to DC and lobby Congress to get that money redirected and a new law new legislation put into law. That truly is the power of storytelling.
Questions? Raise your hand for questions.
I got
How long have you been into entertainment, like for writing scripts and production, and what made you get into it?
I'm gonna get you like that. How long? Yeah. I mean, I started building like company. I started in theater maybe when I was 25. So like 25 years. And then I started my film company in Atlanta when I was like 27. And part of it came from like the idea. I'm from Oklahoma. My brother and I were from Oklahoma City originally. And I didn't grow up with a lot of us. But I did have the privilege of like living outside of the country in my early 20s in Spain. And then when I got back to the States, everybody's like, Atlanta is where it's at. And I remember going to Atlanta, to Hartsville, and I was like, it's black people everywhere. Mayor's black? Is it? You know, it was just like, I was in a sea of us. And I thought, like, how can I, you don't know who you, like, that's when I decided, well, I don't have to work for anybody. Like, I can actually build my own thing, and I can value myself. And so I've never actually had a job as an adult. I just started building companies. And that's how important it was to see myself reflected in other people. So then I thought, well, movies are really about that, right? If I can create a situation where we can tell stories that we can see ourselves reflected in all the different ways that we exist in this world and have existed in this world, I should do that. I should figure it out. So I figured it out. And so I started learning the business.
Talk more about the business aspect of the filmmaking.
I'll make it more direct.
All right.
How would somebody here with a film be able to get on your platform?
Like in my Cypher, in my universe, or on my distribution platform?
Your distribution.
Oh yeah, I mean, they present like anything else, you know. I do have a couple of distribution platforms. The one that we use is one called the C Filler.
Jot that down. You might want to put that down. What it was again, Nick?
Yeah, Spice Girl chick. Yeah, I've done quite a few movies. And anyway, so we did the seat filler, and because I came from theater, I did do Tyler Perry's first play when I was a kid, and he's a couple years older than me. So I kind of cut my teeth. It was called I Know I've Been Changed. So this is pre-Medea and all of that. But I used to, when we would tour, I used to sit in the back of theaters and watch like 4,000 people a night just talk to the stage. Like, girl, don't you, oh my God, you know, it's like this, because in theater, there's supposed to be a fourth wall. You know, you're not supposed to talk to the people on the stage. So I was trained in that kind of theater. But in this kind of theater, they didn't give a damn. They was just like, they were in the show. And I was like, God, that is so dope. Like, remember I'm from Oklahoma. And then I would go to the movies, and we would talk to the movie screen. And I was like, I'm gonna put this together. So when I got into film, I said, well, I'm gonna show my films at the same place I used to take the theaters. Before multiplexes, these opera houses and these other venues used to be where they would play movies, right, before multiplexes came on. So I said, I'm gonna put my movies in those platforms, add some entertainment, and make it an event. So it's called eventizing. It's also called forewalling. So my distribution model is for theatrical. And then I partnered with this billionaire named Mark Cuban, who had the distribution company. Yeah, well, whatever. He was trying to get into our business the way I looked at it. He owned a bunch of, stock in Best Buy at the time. But he did have like the rest of the what we call ancillary windows for revenue. So I didn't want to get into the manufacturing at that time of DVDs and all that. So I partnered with him, and I positioned my company as the studio, and he had his company as the partner. So that film still today, probably made that in 05. It's still making money for those investors.
Those filmmakers who are just trying to figure out, like what you said, the business side of the thing, right? And unfortunately, there's this phase where you don't know what you don't know until you get there. So I would ask you, I'm pretty sure any filmmaker here aspires to generate revenue from their project. So I'll ask you real quick off the top of your mind.
My pleasure. We're gonna make it work now.
All right.
Yeah. Now, let me clarify this and get this straight. We won that category before me and Laylo got in on, you know what I'm saying, bringing them down here, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, same thing you got.
Something to eat with?
But hey, man, I can't tell you
You getting
too
the same
much
thing?
credit to this right here, man. I gotta give all the credit for my brother Central David right here. He just, you know what I'm saying, his mind never stopped working. He's at the house up all night, just doing something. And he put this together, man, and he called and said, man, we just need some interviews and we gonna put us another piece of content out there. So I took my hat off to him and let him talk about it.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. But it is credit to you because you're the reason we are here. That's right. Like growing up, listening to him, like even John Claude having the idea to bring this city to this movie idea to making is based on what they have already done. So shout out to the legend living in the building, man. Y'all clap for it.
Behind the scenes and with the movie, you know what I'm saying? This is deep.
Yes. I think it was best friend.
That feel right? Look good. Let's see all right.
Oh yeah, the cake was good.
You went back to
So like, what movie impressed you today?
I got here a little late. I missed a couple of them. But Nita.
Nita was the heartfelt, man. What is she?
That was,
Bring your
it was different. Like,
A lot of people have a good time with me, fun motherfuckers, amen? How many of y'all
talent. I like my guy, I can think his name, man. He had the scrap. He was he's a bunt.
in this bitch.
Oh, what are the
like right before me.
I'm so proud of that. That sounds so psycho. What's up, nigga? Hey, come on in with your bitch beating ass. I'm so proud of the way you asked the question. I feel about the rest of the
Because I had to drive all the way to I left this morning.
beating bitches left and right. You know we can't be going for real.
So it was like I got all the way to 6 feet and trying to get back there. So it's a little more hard to take my time.
You live in Lawrenceville?
They wouldn't believe me.
So you passed me. That is a field trip.
When we gonna talk about the other side?
I know. I miss when they know. It's got beautiful women like this.
I like